Welcome to the elevator pitch of Energiekontor. My name is Peter Alex, and I'm the head of investor relations. In the next couple of minutes, I would like to show you what Energiekontor does and why you should consider investing in the company. Almost everybody is talking about climate change, not only in Germany, but also worldwide. And Energiekontor is one of the very few companies which is a total green play and therefore profits more than probably most other companies from the urgent need to increase the capacity of renewables. Now, let's dive into what Energiekontor does. Energiekontor is a project developer for wind farms and solar projects and has three segments. In the first segment, we cover the entire value chain from acquisition to commissioning. And at the end, when the project is finished, commissioned, we decide if we either sell it or if we keep the project. If we keep the project, we put it in our power generation segment. And this is our second segment where we have our wind farms and solar parks we own. Here we generate income from the sale of electricity. The third division, and by the numbers the smallest, is our segment business development, innovation and other, which comprises mostly the operational management, but also teams who are concerned with innovations and efficiency gains. Just one example for such efficiency gains is our very successful rotor blade extensions, which we have already done at a number of our wind farms and where we now generate roughly 5% more electricity than before. As a pioneer in the field of renewables, we have a very impressive track record. We have been around for 31 years now, and in this time, we have realized 129 wind farms and 12 solar parks. They have together a capacity of more than 1 gigawatt. Just to give you an idea how much electricity this is, we generate in those parks. The 2.5 billion kilowatt hours we generate there per year on average are sufficient for the needs of a city the size of Hamburg, with more than 700,000 households. Of those wind farms and solar parks we realized, we have kept 36 wind farms and just one solar farm. And now our own portfolio has a capacity of 330 megawatts. Now, let me tell you something about our growth model. And I think this is a very unique point about us. We know that our competitors are now, and for the last couple of years, have followed the same path. But we have been doing this for the last 15 to 20 years. We generate income in our own power generation and in the segment operational development. The excess cash we generate there are more than sufficient to cover all the costs in connection with the project development, but at the same time serve as a budget limit. This budget increases by roughly 10 to 20% a year and enables us to increase project development at even a higher rate. This is due to the fact that we keep 50% of our own projects we develop, and therefore, as soon as we put it in our own power generation portfolio, we have more cash generation through the new parks. The sustainable growth model is not only very nice for our shareholders, it is for sure, but also for our employees. They know they have a very secure job, and there's no need to look around anytime the cyclical renewable energy sector is going into the downturn. And right now, we are all living in the best of worlds, but we have seen so many downturns in our company's history in the segment, in the renewables, that we are very proud that we were never in a position to lay off workers, which others did. Now, there has been a major change in the valuation of Energiekontor in the last 12 to 18 months. And this is due to the fact that our project pipeline receives much more attention than it had before. This came after there was one big sale of a project pipeline by a competitor to RWE, which gave the market a pretty good idea of what project development pipelines are worth. Now, if you take a look at our project pipeline, we have been very successful in expanding it. On June 30th, the last time we reported on it, we had a total pipeline of approximately 6,760 megawatts. And this is really one large pipeline, probably one of the largest pipelines in Germany and the UK, our two core markets. Quite a few of those projects are already in advanced stages. Therefore, they will be finished in the next couple of years. Quite a few of them will be finished and commissioned by the end of this year or next year. You can see we have been very successful, not only in Germany, but also in our other core markets. First of all, obviously Great Britain, and here in Scotland, in particular, where we already have built up a pipeline of more than 2,300 megawatts and are probably one of the largest wind farm project developers in all of Scotland. And Scotland is a fantastic place to have projects in the wind farm segment because the conditions there are much better than at most other places in all of Europe. In our newer markets, France and the US, we have been also quite successful as well. And so overall, we are very, very satisfied with the development of our project pipeline. As a potential investor, I can only urge you to really get familiar with our project pipeline because this is where the hidden values are. And I can tell you, the hidden values are pretty high. Now, last but not least, I'd like to give you a medium-term outlook. It is our goal to increase our key financial figures dramatically over the next couple of years. At the end of 23, we want to be in a position to have a sustainable group EBT of 55 to 60 million per year. We expect that the project development and sales segment will be responsible for at least 50% of this number, while the power generation and operational management will contribute a little less than 50% to this number. And obviously, this is not the end of the growth story, but just the beginning. We believe that we are in a position to be able to grow by at least 15 to 20% for the foreseeable future. And one thing is for certain, renewable energies will grow. And Energiekontor is right at the honeypot of this development. I would ask you to take a little look at our disclaimer. And now I would like to thank you very much for your attention. And I hope I will get in contact with you soon.
Hi there, since you watched this company video until the end, I'm guessing you liked the video. And that's probably because we work very hard to create the most engaging and added value content for you. If you're a company and want to find out how we, at Seat 11A, can make a company video with and about you, please email us at content@seat11a.com.